Isaac, what's up, bud? Finally glad to have you on, man.
I'm here.
So you're the man behind the scenes, dude. You're the one that actually sets up and edits all the episodes. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't do too much. You do the majority of the work. I just slap some effects on it and call it a day.
you do more than you realize, man. Because like, I was so impressed with the actual the new logo that you made for the podcast. Putting the headsets on the skull and I love that black and gold one. That one is
thanks,
fucking
man.
sick. And then the opener.
Yeah.
Dude, how much work went into that opener?
So not necessarily so much work as far as like creating it, but it's more of like trying to figure out what you're gonna do to create that, right? So it's more of like the creative process of thinking, okay, I want to, some type of rock song. I got to find that song.
What fits the mood that we're trying to set, right?
Yeah, all that. And then, once I created the logo, I was like, okay, what do I want it to do? I don't want it to just be there. I want it to kind of like shake on every hit. So,
right.
And those are those little details that, maybe not a lot of people are going to notice, but for me being a content creator, like that shit matters to me. So every hit you hear, like that hit, it shakes.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right on, dude. And, you said content creator, man. What kind of work do you do? I mean, I know the work that you do, but for the episode's sake, what kind of work do you do?
So basically, I do photography and video.
Right.
So I got into it. I've been transitioning into like combat sports photography and video. I've been going to a lot of fights recently, MMA fights, kickboxing fights, things like that, and capturing these amazing athletes, man. And to make a long story short, I did music for the majority of my life. We went to school together. That's how I know Ray. And high school, I was in choir and all that. And when I graduated, I wanted to pursue music professionally. So I bought equipment, everything. I started learning how to like mix audio and create beats, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then about 2018, we graduated 2010. 2018, my buddy, he was like an up and coming rapper, he needed like photography and videos. Mm-hmm. And we had friends that kind of dabbled in it, but we didn't have anybody consistent to help us out with that. So I just decided, let me buy a camera and let me just kind of figure it out. And I bought a camera, and that that's kind of what happened.
You just learn on the job.
Yeah, I just learned, and eventually, I love music still to this day. I love listening to music, discovering new artists, stuff like that. However, I'm not in love with creating it the way that I used to be.
So when you said like you were in the line of work as far as music, what were you doing?
So when I got into choir in high school, which was by accident, I tried out.
There was a hot chick in that class that you wanted to hang out with.
Technically,
I'm actually is that what happened?
No.
Okay, never mind.
When I got in the class and I realized, there's kind of a couple hot chicks. I might stay, but
that's why I joined track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Speaking of track, real quick side note, I love track because it was co-ed.
Right.
And you got to be in the
chicks.
buses.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. A lot of stuff went down in the track.
Right. Uh-huh. But as far as music and choir.
Yeah,
right. Uh-huh.
Let's go back to music. But yeah, for music, 8th grade, real quick, they had auditions at our intermediate school, and I wanted to get out of class. So I said, fuck it, let me just go to these auditions. Got out of class, audition. Apparently I made it. So when I got my classes for my freshman year of high school, I realized my first period was choir. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, this shit's kind of whack. I don't want choir. I was just trying to get out of class. Mm-hmm. So I said, you know what? The first week is always rough trying to change your classes. So I'm just going to rough it for a week. And then the next week.
So you got choir by accident?
Yes.
So they just put that on your schedule?
Well, I tried out and I made it.
Okay.
But I didn't try it out to actually make it. It was just to get out of class.
Right.
So a week goes by, and in that week, I kind of fell in love with the creative side. Mm-hmm. A little bit of background on me. I was pretty much born and raised in Montebello. I was born
an athlete too.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna get to. When I was 4 years old is when I started playing sports. So I started with soccer, and then eventually I went to football, basketball, baseball, that stuff. So when I went to choir, the reason why I think I fell in love with it in retrospect is because I never really got to work out that side of my brain, so to speak, the way I did in choir. I was always like working out as far as like technique
Physically.
and physical and being an athlete and stuff like that. So when I started becoming more creative and learning about music and stuff, oh my God, it intrigued me so much. And I think that was probably 80% of the reason why I stood in choir. And then the other 20% was, the girls.
For sure. Oh man.
You're 14 years old,
You'd be surprised how much of an influence they have at you at that age.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I remember having, going to middle school with you, man, and always knowing you as an athlete. Like you played for the Montebello Sharks, you played football, you played basketball. And I remember I was a little bit surprised when I saw you, I mean, there's no like discredit or nothing. I'm just saying, like, it was just a little bit of like, just a little surprise. Like,
a shock.
Like a shock. Oh, shoot. You're not as, you're not as involved in the sports as I remember you being and how I knew you. But I always heard about you doing great things when it came to music. Like we kind of lost touch a little bit after high school, but through social media, we kind of keep tabs on each other. And man, I saw you doing a lot of work when it came to music, and then later on in the photography world, like I started seeing you doing some really, really cool stuff. And I actually got back into contact with you because you actually had hit me up about Jesse fighting, and you were like, hey, next time you guys have a fight, like let's let me know so I can get some pictures of him.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, we started talking here and there, I think earlier this year. I think what happened was I started slowly kind of reaching back out to different people from high school and stuff like that. I just kind of started, like you said, keeping tabs on old friends. Because, for example, a guy that I talk to every once in a while, Ruben, who was on the football team with us.
Torres?
Torres,
yeah. Good dude.
He got married and stuff like that, right? And I was like, yo, and when I started seeing him and a couple other people, their lives kind of transitioning into, like real adulthood and people having kids and stuff like that, I was like, man, I missed out on a lot. Like, let me start looking at all the cool people that I remember and kind of see where they're at. So one time, I don't remember exactly who, but they had posted or reposted something that you had posted. Maybe it was a quote, maybe, it was something having to do with training. And then I just remember looking at your page and kind of, doing a little bit of research based off of the content.
Lurking?
Yeah, some lurking. There you go. That's a better word for it. And I was like, oh shit, Ray did a lot of cool shit. And then, that was kind of you transitioning from, quote unquote normal Ray to Rayzors Edge Ray.
Yeah, man. It's been a journey, man.
Yeah.
It's been a heck of a journey, but I've always been into like working out and training. I just found a way to make money off of it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? I don't know, like we both know Steve Medina, he's a really good friend of mine. Yeah. I remember just a couple years, not even a couple years, maybe almost like 10 years ago now. Like, he was always known as a chubby kid in middle and high school. And just one year, he just decided, hey, I'm gonna hang out with you for about a year, and we're gonna, I'm gonna do what you do. So we just hit a solid year of just working out. He was kind of like my first client, you know what I mean? Nice. Because I just put him through the same workouts that I did that kept me in shape. I think it was after my knee surgery though, so I had put some weight on. So I was like, I gotta get back in shape. And Steve and I were always like, he was my best friend growing up. He decided to hang out with me, and he was kind of like my first unofficial client who like made that transformation where he went from like 40 pounds. I think he got down to like 150 or 60.
Yeah,
but he was just shredded for a second.
Shredded. I remember, like, to your point, we graduated high school, and then however many years, and a couple of years later, 3 or so years later, or whatever, I just see a picture of him, and I'm like, "Who the fuck is that?
Who the fuck is this guy?" Yeah,
I was like,
dude,
bro, this dude looks amazing.
Yeah, man, he put a lot of work into it. Man, and that just came with just. Like I think we're talking about it earlier, just having no life. Like we were just focused. I remember that movie Pain and Gain came out.
Dude, I love that movie.
We were so obsessed with that movie with Mark Wahlberg and The Rock. And yeah, man. And I remember we watched that movie. We're like, we're gonna look like those fucking guys.
Yeah.
We never came even close to that. But you know what? But like Steve,
no PEDs,
no shit. But yeah, man, it was just one of those things where we just dedicated ourselves like for I think like a spring and summer. And oh, dude, it was just like 2-a-days. But yeah, Steve was like my first, and that's kind of like where I mean, I was involved in coaching already, but where I kind of got a niche for like just personal training and working in the strength conditioning field.
The seed was planted right there.
The seed was planted. Well, I mean, look, I've always been into like training. I used to have a little weight set here back in the day, like in this what's the gym now, but my grandpa used to have like a bunch of like tool sheds, and it was just a backyard
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
But I had a little rusty old weight set back there, and dude, I spent a lot of time back there. You know what I mean? And that was like my intro to like training and working out. But like when it came to actually teaching it, Steve and I actually got a trainer that would actually meet us at the Montebello, the little bunker weight room under the bleachers.
Yes.
He would meet us there, and he would just, I was coaching, so I had the key. So we'd go after school was over or in the summer when no one was there, and he would come down and he would train us there. So when that guy would come in and train us, like it just kind of like, it kind of clicked with me.
Yeah.
And I actually started training with this guy at his gym, ended up being employed at that gym. And that actually kind of got my foot in the door where it was just like, okay, cool. Like I'm actually, I understand what you're doing. I see the systems, the methods, and just started educating myself. I just, instead of going to these like college programs and paying fucking $80,000, I just started reading the same books they were reading and just being involved in the field and learning hands on. And here we are now, man.
Yeah, and dude, and that's so dope. And kind of tying that into what I did, it's the same thing. Like I could have went to music school. I even had a cousin who was working at the time for the Musicians Institute in Los Angeles, and she was telling me, she goes, "Hey, I see you doing music. Like if you want to, come here, I could put in a word. Maybe we can like start getting you classes and stuff." And maybe I should have at the time, but in retrospect, I learned everything that they learned just on my own. I read books. I was on YouTube University.
Yeah.
Everything.
I have a master's degree in fucking YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a YouTube master's degree. And that's, I don't think that, look that's not the soul of like the core of my education. I obviously, like you did, I had a mentor.
Sure,
I had,
exactly.
I put myself in the field. I learned hands on what actually goes on, how things work, how things really don't work. But I'm sure it would have helped had I gone to school and like learned this, but realistically, I just learned on the job. You know what I mean? I think coaching all the years that I did and learning how to, because like you can go to school and be book smart.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really get more, it's not as beneficial as just being hands-on and seeing how people operate. Because you could read books and you could absorb information and like data, but if you don't know how to apply it and don't know how to get the message across, it's all for shit. In my opinion, I'm also a dumbass.
No, you're living your truth, man. That you're exactly right. I 100% agree with you. My perspective on school, like specifically college, in most cases, it's like you're really there for the resources and the relationship building.
Exactly.
The skills that you develop, you can develop outside of school.
Right.
Which we are, products of that. We didn't go to school for what we do, but we still are good at what we do because we put in the work to get to that point. I do wish I maybe would have did a year or maybe even just a semester just so I could develop those relationships.
Right.
Because during that time in the early 2010s, it was a lot harder for me, especially being really young and trying to do something, that's really, really hard without having those relationships and those mentors. Eventually, later down the road, I was able to develop relationships and stuff, but it could have been a lot easier of a road. But we're here now, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know,
and you're really good at what you do, man. Dude, I saw some
it.
pictures that you took at the last two of MMA events that you were at, man. Dude, incredible shots, man.
Thanks.
How'd you get involved in like MMA, like shooting MMA fights?
Well, I think it was by accident, to be quite honest with you. What happened was as I was doing photography, like I said, in 2018, I kind of dabbled. 2019, I really started taking it serious. I got to a point where I was actually working with a luxurious training company, fitness company, where all their clients are like CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies. And so I was under their umbrella. They were showing me like how to do social media content, and I was just shooting all this stuff for them. Then the pandemic hit. And I ended up leaving that company. I was depressed. Most of us were depressed, all fucked up during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And little by little, I was like, I need to get back out there and being creative. So I started reaching out to different people on Instagram, models and different things.
Just to do something. Just
Just
to
to
get
do
some kind of
something,
work. Right.
yeah. Just to start practicing again. You know, I would offer free like photos and stuff like that, just so I can like continue to build my skill. And then, so I was doing that. And then earlier this year, it was in May, I had a friend who his friend had a friend who was a fighter.
Right.
And they ended up going, they bought tickets for the fight. So I was invited. They're like, do you want to go? And, you know, I love MMA.
So you're already a fan before.
I was already a fan.
Right.
I've been a fan, like serious fan since 2015. I've been watching it since like early 2010s, but I didn't have the time and I wasn't as invested until about 2015, the Conor McGregor effect, basically.
Connor and Nate.
Before that,
Before that.
I started watching right
You messed up Chad Mendes.
Right after Chad Mendes. Like I knew about what was going on, but I didn't see the fight live. I saw it after, so I saw the Aldo fight live and everything like that. So
that's when he knocked him out like right away, right?
Yeah.
It was the first minute or so.
No, like 13 seconds.
Something right. It was right. That's what it was.
And so since then, so it's been 7 years now. I've been like a fucking geek on this shit.
Yeah,
right?
it's amazing. It's a beautiful sport.
And so what happened was May, I'm going to that fight. It was a local organization called Up Next Fighting. And I go, and because I'm a photographer, videographer now, I just take my camera everywhere for the most part.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to take my camera in and fuck it. Like, let's see what happens, you know? Luckily, they didn't tell me to put my camera away.
Do most events tell you to put your stuff away?
I mean, I've been to a lot of events, and now that I'm slowly making relationships, I haven't been told no.
But if you go to a UFC fight and you bring a camera, will they tell you anything?
I haven't been to a UFC event yet,
Gotcha.
so I'm not sure on that one.
Okay.
That's kind of my next step that I want to go.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so I end up going to this event, and there was a fighter. His name is Albert Morales. He was fighting, and he won his fight. He stopped the person he was fighting. On my side of the cage, he jumped on top.
I remember that, and that's when he was on the
Yeah, so he's like celebrating whatever. So I took a couple pictures, and I wanted to post it right away. I was so excited. The energy was amazing. My first ever MMA event I've ever been to. So I go on my phone, I edit it real quick within like 30 minutes, and then I post it on on my story.
But you tagged them.
I tagged them. They saw it. They reposted me, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't think anything of it. Well, a lot of people who follow Albert started DMing me like, yo, this is a dope flick, yada, yada. Well, one person, her name is Emily, amazing photographer. She trains at the same gym he trains, which is Black House MMA. And she was like, man, I was supposed to go. I do photography, yada, yada. Then she told me there's another event a couple Saturdays from that day. You should go and take photos there. I'll be there. I said, cool. She told me the organization. The organization was Spar Star MMA. They're a MMA organization, but they're not pro. So I said, fuck it. Let me reach out to them. I DM'd them. That was my first MMA event. Don't have a lot of photos on anything outside of whatever I took. And I just DM'd them saying, hey, I'm a photographer. I'm trying to transition into combat sports. Is there any way I could get a media pass so I can take photos? They said, buy a ticket. If you buy a ticket, we'll give you a media pass. Cool. I said, easy. $50 for a general admission ticket. They gave me a media pass. I had a whole pass, had access to the whole casino, Commerce Casino. And that was it, bro.
That's how it started.
That's how it started. And then since then, that was May 2022.
And I think Jesse fought like around May or June as well.
Yeah.
And that's when you had hit me up. Like
I started reaching out to you about Jesse, and then eventually we got it training and stuff like that. So yeah, man, it's been not a long time, but
so much has happened.
You know, the one thing about me, you know, and this is something that I admire about yourself as well, is like when you say you're gonna do something, you do it. You know, and that's something about me that I've
just pull the trigger.
I try not to second guess. You know, I'm human, so there's gonna be moments where I'll hesitate. But generally speaking, like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
Just do it. And that's you know, I make the joke all the time that I'm dumb enough to just pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Without even thinking, because I mean, I know a ton of actual educated people who are, you know, I call them smart people, you know.
Yeah.
But constantly second guessing and overthinking. And it's just like, man, it feels kind of weird because I don't have that second guess. I don't want to, well, I don't know. I don't second guess myself.
Yeah.
I just like go with my gut, and my gut tells me just do it.
Yeah.
And that's, it's got me in trouble, and it's also gotten me, it's also been a good thing for me.
Sure. Yeah.
And, yeah, man, it comes down to just pulling the trigger. And that's, I think, where I think most successful people, obviously there's a little bit of like risk to reward, critical thinking that goes in behind it. But for the most part, if it makes sense and it sounds like it's gonna be fun, fucking come in. Like, I'll do it. I'm gonna do it. But that's one thing I do respect about you too, man. That's why, we get along so well. Not only did we know each other for that long, but we're both just hustlers.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
do it. Just get after it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Learn. Hey, we'll deal with the consequences later, and we'll just do what we can now and make the most of it.
And I think, to add to what you're saying, I agree with everything. Like, we've made enough mistakes in our 30 years of being on this earth that, we may quote unquote be dumb sometimes, but at the end of the day, like, we have enough experience to where we can start to figure out, like, okay, I probably shouldn't do this, so let me put my energy in this.
Into that, right.
So we can discern things now. Versus before, it was kind of like, you were a yes man. I don't know if you ever seen that movie fucking
with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, where he's a yes man. We went from yes man to everything to like yes man to like shit that we want to do.
Stuff that we're actually passionate about.
Exactly.
There's a book that I love, man. It's called The War of Art.
Okay.
By I think the author Stephen Pressfield, man. But he talks about how every individual, he considers them an artist. Everyone has an inner artist. And he talks about what prevents us from being that artist is what's called the resistance. And the resistance comes in all forms. It comes in procrastination. It comes into comfort. It comes in the form of like anything and everything that, that you could think of. But once you get past that resistance and you pursue like what you're really passionate about, like you start to become the artist that you were put on this earth to be.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful book, man. Really good book. I actually handed that book out to a few friends. A few friends who I feel have potential, but kind of, they're their own worst enemy.
Of course.
And
we all are.
I mean, to an extent, a lot of us are, man. A lot of us are our own worst enemy, man. And a lot of that comes with, like you said, second guessing and like, oh, what's going to happen if this doesn't go right? It's like, fuck, just put that aside. Fucking just take the game-winning shot. And if it goes in, it goes in.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, oh, well, at least at least you learned your lesson. Okay, well, I can't go that route. I have to figure this. It's just, you have to be willing to make that game-winning shot. You know what I mean? When the ball's in your hand, at least try to. I mean, the ball's in your hand, game's in the line. What's the worst thing that could happen if you at least just attempt it?
You miss.
You miss.
Oh, well.
We got into the game.
If you didn't shoot it, you would have, you can't miss a shot you didn't shoot. So
exactly.
It's like, just shoot it. And to your point, man, like, and that's something that like I've been, trying to do a lot more in my life, as I've gotten older, is just don't worry about like not shooting the shot, and obviously I've been trying to put my energy into things that I'm passionate about and benefiting me. But yeah, man, like everything you're saying is 100% like what it is.
And that comes through experience and just fucking up everything you've ever touched.
And to exactly what I was going to say, like, one thing that always scared me was like thinking about, well, if I miss it, how am I going to feel? What's going to happen?
I'm going to be embarrassed. What are my friends going to think?
Exactly.
What is society going to think?
And then what happens though, when you keep shooting and you miss all the time, is instead of you feeling like, embarrassed and all these emotions and these thoughts, what begins to happen is you start kind of thinking, okay, well, I want to make the next one.
Yeah.
So let me think about what can I do to prepare myself to have a better chance of making that shot.
And that's funny you bring that up, man, because preparation has to go into that. Like you can't just take that game-winning shot and expect it to go in without preparing and exercising your mind, your body, your habits, your patterns, and expect to make that shot. Like if you haven't prepared yourself and you haven't gone through what's necessary to put yourself in position to make that shot, you're probably not going to make that shot. Yeah. But hey, like we said earlier, you've been in that situation before. You know what goes into making that game winning shot. Okay, I got to practice my hand moving. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, preparation is a huge part of it, man. And if you don't practice, if you don't prepare, you can't expect to make that game-winning shot.
Yeah. No, I agree with 100%. And you know, there's some of us are a little bit talented in skills in different areas,
right?
But nevertheless, like generally speaking, we can all be at a good skill level in a lot of things. It's just what you're saying. It's just taking that time to practice that craft.
Dude, I mean, I'm in the best shape. I mean, not right now, but a few months ago, I was in the best shape of my life. And that just, like we talked about earlier, came from me not having a life for 6 months and just 6 months and just dedicating every hour, every minute of my day to achieving a goal. You know what I mean? And we said something along this line earlier. Like, we went the first 30 years of our life fucking off. Like, I know what it's like to fuck off. I've had probably the amount of fun. I know what it's like to have fun.
Sure.
Fun and balance kept me at this baseline of life. Okay. Let me, for a few years, operate on the opposite end of that, the extreme opposite end of that, and take kind of the fun element out of my life and see where that gets me. And it's no coincidence. Like, my business is probably the best it's ever been. I'm in the best shape of my life. Mentally, I'm in the best mental space that I've ever been in. And it's no coincidence that, I mean, I'm not saying fun's never a good thing,
sure,
but what I'm saying though, it's like, hey, let me just cut that, what I considered fun, you know, bitches, partying, boozing. Let me cut that out of my life for a couple years or a couple months and see where that gets me. And it's no coincidence that I've taken the strides, and you're attesting to that too, because you've lost freaking almost 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, you're putting yourself out there and you're making sacrifices to go to these events that you're not getting paid for.
Yeah.
And you're blowing up the way that you are. And it's like picking your sacrifice.
Yeah.
And you're picking the sacrifices that are putting you on the road going towards where you want to go, as opposed to comfort, fun, and balance. Like, I tell people this all the time, man. Like, you talk to anybody that's good at what they do, there is I love the word. I've said this before on the podcast, like the word balance. Well, you need to have balance. It's like, you talk to anybody that has excelled at what they do.
Yes.
Before they reaped the benefits of balance, they had to endure extreme amounts of unbalance.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? There had to be hours, loss of sleep, loss of fun, missing out on family parties, club, you know, your friends getting together, whatever it is, whatever kind of social events. You had to pass those up to work on your craft, to work on you. You have to go through that in order to reap the benefits of balance.
Yes.
And there's got to be at least a period of time of that. I'm telling you, dude, I think that word balance that gets thrown around a lot, it's just a cover up for comfort.
I agree 100%. And to add to that, like, so when I was growing up, it's going to sound funny, but you know, when people, when you're a little kid, they say, oh, you know, mijo, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they're like, oh, I want to be a lawyer, basketball player, whatever the fuck. Yeah. School bus driver.
Yeah, no shit.
No, but they say all these things. And the thing that I never really said, but I really wanted to say was, I want to be a superhero.
Right.
That's literally what I wanted to be when I was a little kid. And it wasn't until maybe I was in my mid-20s that I realized, oh shit, like, we are superheroes in the sense of, like, I'm gonna break it down like this, and I'm gonna tie it into what you're saying. Going back to balance, we have a superpower. The superpower that we have is choice. And the power we have is decision making, right? And one of the superpowers I had growing up was, when I made a decision, I fucking went at it, right? Yeah. So even though I didn't get super crazy successful in the music industry, to get to even that level of success that I obtained, everything that you're saying, bro, I put in hours, bro. I built a little home studio at my fucking house in West Covina that I was living at the time. And I would literally have my friends come and we would record every fucking night. And it sounded like shit, but every day it sounded a little less like shit than the day before. And, you know, to your point, like, you can't have balance. And another thing I was going to add is, I truly believe that in order to be successful in generally anything in life, you have to put in at least 10 solid years. So it doesn't really matter when you start. So for example, if you're 15 years old and you know you want to be a rapper, for example, a musician, a music artist, it's probably going to take you at least 10 years till you reach a certain level of success where you can have balance now, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much in anything in life. You know, you want to be a doctor, you want to be the fucking CEO or you know, the manager, like the head manager of fucking Walmart or whatever. You gotta put in 10 years of being a fucking Walmart slave to obtain that.
To get to that position.
So it's like, if I'm gonna put
unless you know someone. Unless you know someone, right.
And even then, you know, you're still gonna have to put in some type of work, right? So the point that I'm trying to make is, if you know you're gonna have to put in 10 years to work at Walmart, to work at a desk job, to work at wherever you work at, and you may or may not want to necessarily be there, why not just put in that 10 years of work on the shit that you actually want to do? Have an unbalanced life, just focusing on that. So that way, year 5, year 6, year 7, you're transitioning into quote unquote a balanced life.
Definitely,
you know
man.
what I mean?
Well, like let's use like I'll use myself as an example right now. Like I got stuck working for the school district. This is my 10th year in the school district, so I'm a pro fucking hall monitor.
Yeah, there you go.
No, but what I'm saying though, it's that like I think like the average American, we're so burnt out from the week just doing our 9 to 5 that the time that we have off, we feel like that's our time to fuck off.
Yeah.
And that's where I got stuck, man. And that's why I'm stuck where I'm at right now. I'm telling you, I've told you this in person several times. I'm trying to get the fuck out of there. Like I'm setting the foundation, laying the groundwork to where I'm just, see ya. I don't need this anymore. But like where I was at and like what I felt was I was just so mentally drained from the week that weekends, the last thing on my mind was more work.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck, I just worked 40 hours this week dealing with a bunch of shithead kids and stupid fucking parents, staff members. Yeah. Like, the last thing I want to do is work more. So that was my excuse. This is the balance everyone talks about. But I've said before, like, that's where balance got me. It kept me a fucking hall monitor my entire life, my entire adult life. And I can't blame a lot of people for like living that lifestyle of, hey, I worked the 9 to 5, I did my 40 hours. Now I can have the fun that I want to have.
Of course.
Also, you can't complain when you're living paycheck to paycheck. You can't complain. Like, if you're going to go about that route and live that balanced life, then I don't want to hear you fucking complain about fucking bills. I don't want to hear you complain about expenses, because you chose that life. You made those decisions that kept you at that job that they told you when you're getting a raise. They told you what you can and can't say. They told, like, if you're stressed about your job, you're upset you haven't gotten a pay raise. It's no one's fault but yours, because you had your entire 20s or whatever it is, your entire life to make decisions and put in work after you clocked out to advance your position, but you chose to be balanced.
Exactly. And going back to what I said about having a superpower, that's your superpower. It's up to you, you know, going, what they say, what did Spider-Man's grandpa say when he died? Like,
with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah.
Right? So it's like, it's up to you to decide how to use that superpower. And it's like, if you want to have an extraordinary life, you got to do extraordinary
things,
work.
Right. Yeah, and do work that other people aren't willing to do. And what's fun though, man, like the beautiful thing is the extra work that we're putting in. Could you even really consider? I mean, granted, it's tedious.
Sure.
It takes up time.
Yeah.
But like, this is what most people dream about. Like, I wish I did something that I liked and got paid for it. We just figure out a way how to do it. And it's so easy now, man. It's so, I mean, I don't want to say it's easy. Like, you have to really be trying to not do anything to not do what you want to do. Dude, I mean, how many people do we know that like their thing is baking, and they just take a picture of the fucking cake they baked, like, oh, we're selling one of these. Yeah. We're making a profit off of it. And that's a really like a small example. But
my mom sells flans, bro.
Yes, but you can make money off of just fucking just doing what you're doing and just fucking advertising it on the internet and make some kind of profit.
And that's another thing why, you know, and even myself, you know, I would get upset at myself when I wasn't doing the work that I knew I could be doing, right? But yeah, I get frustrated too when I see friends and family and loved ones that, they have all the excuses in the world.
Yeah.
And I was there at some point, you know, where I would say, but you know, I don't have money. I don't have this. I don't know these people. But the reality is like, yeah, those things are true. But at the end of the day, we have opportunity that not a lot of people have. You know, bro, we live in LA, dog.
Yeah, everything's here.
And it's like, yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, California is the highest or one of the highest tax states, you know, in the country. And, you know, there's a lot of things that come with living in LA. Nevertheless, there's so much opportunity. You know, everybody in the whole fucking world wants to come here, and we live here. And it's like, when I see my friends and family, you know, I'm not saying living up to their potential, because they're humans and they're adults. They can do whatever they want. But when I hear them complain and they say, yeah, well, I can't, you know, go to a nice restaurant and have enjoy my birthday because, you know, I don't have enough money.
I can't
this
afford
week,
it, right?
Whatever. It's like,
well, Dick, you're fucking bagging groceries at a supermarket. Like, what'd you think was gonna happen?
bro, it's like, dude, like, anybody could do it. And that's one thing that, going back to the whole, you know, superpower thing and responsibility, you know, I feel not only responsible for my own life, but I feel responsible for the legacy and the people that come after me.
For sure.
Because it's like...
Because you have an impact.
Exactly.
You're going to have an impact in some form or fashion.
100%. And the thing is that the best way to try to inspire people is not tell them what to do and not, you know, give them a book and do that. Exactly. It's be the fucking example.
Be the example, man. And like, I don't know, man. I think coming from the area that we grew up in wasn't the most financially stable.
Sure, yeah.
So, dude, we have a sense of grit and resilience that a lot of these higher income areas don't have, man. Like, I'm not sure if you have any friends, that grew up that came from money.
Yeah,
they're fucking pussies.
Yeah,
they're pussies. Them, a lot of them are, man. Like, hey, some of them had like the resources and were given like given information at a young age to where they kind of grew up into it. But when the shit hits the fan, they're fucking. Most of them are fucking pussies, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
But hey, we're going to a fight later on today, man. The Commerce Casino.
Yeah, bro. So, you know, what's funny is, which I'm actually really excited, is...
You're taking your camera, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So the first fight I've ever been to was through Up Next Fighting.
And this is the Up Next promotion?
This is Up Next Fighting that we're going to. And what's funny is the first time I ever went, right? After that event, so the event's done, people are leaving, and I'm with my friend Dree at the time. We were there, and I said, Dree, like, let's stay until everybody's gone. I want to go talk to like the photographers. I want to meet people, you know, stuff like that. It's like, all right. So sure enough, lights come on, everybody's leaving. I go up to the photographers. I start shaking hands. I start meeting all of them. And then, dude, now we're in August, bro. That was May. Now, all of them know who I am.
That's amazing, bro.
Every time I go to a fight, they're always like, yo, what's up, Isaac? What's going on? Like, you gonna get in here?
It's a tight community?
Bro, it's so tight.
Is it accepting? Like an accepting community? Like,
yeah, dude.
Like no one's poaching for like a position or like trying to hold a monopoly?
Not at all. Of course, there's like a little bit of competition because people want to get better, right? We're all creatives and we're all trying to be the best, you know, at what we do. Sure. But it's a friendly competition. It's not like anything. It's kind of like when you go to the gym with your buddy and it pushes you to like, you know, push a little bit more weight than you probably would on your own. It's kind of like that. That's how it feels.
That's dope. That's actually a really encouraging like thing to hear, man, because like you hear a lot of these trades in these fields, how like a lot of it's cutthroat and backstabbing. That's actually really refreshing to hear that everyone's as a like they brought you in with open arms and they you know, it's very encouraging. That's a beautiful thing to hear.
Well, I believe, and I could be wrong, but my perspective at least is I feel like the reason why they took a liking or an accepting to me maybe than, you know, somebody else they would have did was because of the work that I put behind the scenes.
Right.
As soon as I figured out I love MMA, I do content creation, I'm gonna slap that shit together.
They go hand in hand.
I'm gonna slap it together, exactly. That, and they saw the work that I was putting in. They saw me going to the shows, didn't have a media pass at every single show, but I would still buy a ticket. I would still take my camera. I would still shoot the fighters. I would still send the photos to all the fighters and everything, and they would post my shit. My name's everywhere.
Dude, you said you had a video recently. I actually saw that video. It was really well done that you posted up that actually got some traction, man.
Yeah. You know, and the cool thing, so Up Next Fighting, the promotion. I been trying to get them to post my shit for a long time. You know, I'm not hitting them up like, hey, go ahead and post my shit or whatever.
No, for sure.
What I'm doing is in Instagram, and I'm sure you know this because you've been on your social media game recently. You can tag somebody as a collaborator.
I didn't. Oh, well, you actually brought that to my attention recently.
So if you post a picture of mine, you can tag me as a collaborator.
I'm gonna pull this shit up now.
Yeah, there you go. And you can go ahead and it'll go on both of our profiles.
This is what I was talking about. That's the one, right?
So that's one of them, and then the one after that ended up getting
some traction as well.
Yeah, the photo, that one, yeah.
The photo. Okay, yeah, the photo was dope, man.
So if you see how on the top it says Isaac Lawrence and Up Next Fighting?
Right.
So that content is not only on my page, but it's on their
page as well.
So I got followers.
That's what you said. You saw Tony Ferguson at the. I think you came over that day too.
Yes, sir.
You came over that day. We actually talked shop that day. Yeah, man, that was actually a really big day for you, man. You were really psyched about that,
dude. Super psyched to be in a gym with a professional athlete who's reached pretty much, you know, the highest of the highs you can, with the exception of actually winning the bout. He got the interim title. It's like being around these professional athletes and being able to just see them work and
the video got some views in it too, right? The video got like, I mean, last I saw, it had like over 3,000 views that I saw.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this one.
If you click Reels, it'll show you the view count.
I'm not sure if it's doing that on my laptop.
Yeah, so exit that.
Close this up right here. Let me go back.
And then see where it says Reels on the top.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, click that, and then you'll be able to see the view count. Let's see where it's at right now.
Like almost 4,000.
Yeah, so
that's amazing, bro. I'm so happy for you, dude.
Yeah,
and that just comes from just you, just putting your name out, just going and hang. Hey, man, can I go take pictures? Just asking,
just doing it.
That's amazing, bro. I'm so happy for you, dude.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy, dude. I made a comment the other day, like, dude, I'm working with the best up and coming content creator, and then I'm working with the best amateur fighter in the country, man. Like, oh, what a position to be in, bro.
Yeah, man.
So fucking fortunate, dude. Dude, if I'm not eating fucking steaks off golden plates in a couple years, dude, I'm gonna be pissed. If I don't have 10 fucking models at my side, bro, and eating off fucking golden plate, I'm gonna be upset, bro.
Oh, we got some things in the work. We
got some things in the work. I'm just being a dick. No, but it's very fortunate, bro, to like be around people like, you know, you and Jesse, you know, just to have that circle, bro.
Yeah, that proximity, like that environment.
Oh, dude, we like our energy just kind of built off of each other.
Yeah,
and didn't have that a couple months ago. You know what I mean? It was just it was one of those things where I was just kind of like how would you call it? You know, just wasn't making any progress. I don't want to but it's refreshing now to see. You know, I have a saying, I like seeing all my friends eat.
Of course.
Oh, dude, we're gonna have a good ass time today, man.
Dude,
at the Commerce Casino.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna take me a couple cigars, and I'm gonna have before the show, just kind of loosen myself up.
Yeah, there's a smoking section in the back too.
I haven't been in fucking public, dude. Not you mentioned it. I haven't been in public like that in quite some time, bro.
Dude, it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun, dude.
And I'm rocking this, by the way.
If I have a fucking social anxiety attack, bro, I'm blaming you fuckers.
Nah, as soon as you get in there, bro, and you see the fights going on, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm at home.
I'm at home. You know what? Actually, the last event I went to was probably Jesse's fight. That was probably the last time.
How'd you feel?
That was cool. That was cool, dude. Yeah, I'm exaggerating. Dude, I work in a fucking school with like 3,000 kids every day.
Yeah, no, but it's different, bro. When you're working versus like this is your leisure and shit like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun, bro. I'm really excited, and you said it was supposed to be like a championship fight.
Yes.
It's supposed to be like a big like amateur championship fight, right?
So it's not amateur, actually, it's pro.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
okay.
So the two main fighters that are fighting, and by the time this podcast comes out, they would have already fought. So I don't know who's gonna win, but it's Albert Morales and Terrion Ware. Both of them were in the UFC. They're not in the UFC anymore. They're trying to go back to the UFC. And Up Next Fighting, this is their only second event. So this is Up Next Fighting 2.
Oh, no kidding.
The fight I went to
was the first
one I ever went to was Up Next Fighting 1.
Wow.
So they're an up and coming organization that is trying to be like, you know, like a Bellator or something, you know, I would assume. I haven't talked to everybody there, but based on the fighters and what they tell me, and they love it, man. They're really good. This organization is created by a lot of people in the fight business that are ex-fighters, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really excited, and it's gonna be fun, man.
That's gonna be fun, dude.
First UNF 145 championship bout gonna be crowned today.
Oh, so they're crowning a champion today.
Oh, so it
honestly,
was a 4-man tournament.
Honestly, bro, I was so involved in consuming and watching MMA as a kid, bro. I've been so out of it the last couple years, man. I've been doing my thing and being busy,
bro.
dude. It's just so hard to keep up. But I had no idea that this was it was like at that level. Mm-hmm. Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking dope, man. Oh, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun time, man.
This is gonna be dope, bro. You're gonna have a good time.
How'd you find out about them? Just kind of putting your name out there and finding.
Well, like I said, the first fight that I went to, going back, I got invited, right?
Yeah.
So I went, and then after that, and once I kind of figured out photography, video, MMA, slapped it together.
Then you had a friend of a friend that was fighting on the card.
Yes.
Ah.
So from there, that's when I just started reaching out to anybody that I possibly could that I found that was in the MMA space.
Gotcha. That's right.
And then I was invited to a couple gyms. I got to go to CMMA. I got to go to Black House. I'm about to go to Los Angeles Muay Thai with Jesse. And now I have relationships with other gyms. I haven't been to those gyms yet, but I've gotten invited to like some of Eddie Bravo's gyms now, some jiu-jitsu gyms and stuff like that.
And the cool thing, like, this probably would have been frowned upon about 10 years ago because, like, you wanted to keep this close. But now the fighters, they want to start building their brand. Exactly. And the more cameras they have on them, the better. So, like, I'm pretty sure you putting your name out there and offering your services, people are, like, these athletes are way more accepting of having you in that environment and that realm. Of course. Obviously, cameras got to be off when, like, technique time is going, you know what I mean?
And that's something that I had to learn. I didn't know that, right? So like, for example, I'm glad you brought that up. When I went to Black House and they had Tony Ferguson come in, I was filming Tony Ferguson sitting down talking to the fighters, and he was going over his Darce choke. And I'm over here recording it thinking like, yo, this shit's dope as fuck. And he gave me the sign like, hey, cut the cameras.
Yeah.
And sure enough, oh shit, I cut the cameras on real quick. So those are just little things, to your point, that I'm learning. I'm still learning.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, man. And I'm sure he didn't mean it. Like, he was just like, hey.
No, he was really nice.
Yeah.
Really cool guy. Very humble.
People pay to learn this. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's dope, man. You said you're going to LA Muay Thai. Are there any other, like, because you also did another video edit, I think, for a real estate company?
Yeah. So during the summer, I had an amazing opportunity to work for Viewpoint Lending. They're a mortgage lending company.
Right.
And the reason why I worked for them, I did an internship for them, was because I wanted to learn how to work in a team environment via content creation. So they have a really, really good team that does marketing. And I know the head of that team. Her name is Lauren. She's a family friend that I grew up with since I was like 5 years old. And I told her, what I'm doing. And she's like, oh, we have an internship. We're looking for more photographers and, people to come on board. So I said, sure, let me check it out. And I got to learn how to do real estate and real estate videos and real estate photography, which is really easy. And it's very lucrative, I might add.
Really?
Very lucrative. Because you think about it, you have all these real estate agents that are trying to like sell these houses.
So
houses are coming up like crazy, right? So nowadays, people want to be able to tour the house without having to go there. They want to see pictures. They want to see how it looks furnished, instead of just a blank room. Sure, you
can get the point across with that, but the prettier, the more like visually appealing it is, the more likely you are to kind of
sell the property. So now all these real estate agents and loan officers are hitting up marketing companies to create this content for them. So I got to learn how to do all that.
That's what you're talking about when you jump in the cage. Yeah, that's dope, man. Dude,
that was the recent one. The
one you're talking about was the one before.
It was the black and white one.
Yeah.
Which is the first one I ever posted right there.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Oh, that's a fucking sweet shot, dude. I can't be like, I'm not surprised that these teammates, these fighters are actually hitting you up, man, because that's like you just in the audience. That's not even
me in the
you.
audience.
That's not even you, like
on top of the cage or nothing. Which I got to go on top of the cage for my second event ever, which was a amateur promotion, Spar Stars promotion, and yeah, that was a whole crazy story. I could get into that, but
That was dope.
the point that I was trying to make is, yeah, I got to be on top of the cage, and bro, it was fucking crazy. Bro.
Electric, huh? I'm
it
sure.
was so like surreal.
So I'm sure like to get involved with like the UFC, you just got to do a ton of work like this and work your name up to where
Of course.
when when you contact them or they contact you, there's a sense of like being reputable. Okay, he's legit. We can.
That for sure. And I've noticed, and this is something that I've been researching, a lot of their UFC photographers are I believe they're contracted through Getty Images.
Okay.
So all of your, the famous photographers that do all the UFC photos and videos, most of them, they work for Getty, which is funny because I'm talking about like a day or two ago, found out Getty is looking for more photographers. So I'm trying to get up in there, bro.
You gotta just
I just gotta submit my
your
my
resume,
work and everything like that, and then hopefully set up an interview.
Hey, dude, have fun at the next UFC event,
dude.
Your height already,
right? That's the goal,
dude. Seriously, man. Because I'm looking at your page right now, man. And if you want, like, when you edit the video, just to throw some of these shots in, dude,
sure.
do that, bro. Like, because I was surprised as many people watch this as they do, man.
Yeah.
Dude, it's fucking badass, man. I posted a picture yesterday. I screenshotted, like, dude, some of the messages I've been getting from people that are actually watching the show. When I went to the process of making this, I didn't expect fucking no one to watch this. But if you guys are watching this and you guys have, like, the messages you guys send in, don't go unnoticed.
For sure.
You know what I mean? People are watching. And if you guys are listening to this and it is having some kind of impact on you, dude, thank you so much. Like, you guys have no idea like how much that means to me. It's just one of those things where, like, dude, this is just a fun project. Like we were talking about, just something fun and fulfilling that you like doing, and you just kind of just go for it. And dude, I used to have this like thought process when I was coaching. Like, dude, if I'm coaching a group of 100 kids and I'm talking to them about values and life, for the most part, it's gonna go in and out the ear, in one ear, out the other ear of most of the kids. But if the message gets across to one person, I did my part.
Yeah,
that's me doing my part, and that's kind of like how I feel, and I'm going about this. If out of the however many people, 1,000 people that follow me, if like one or two people listen to this and it registered, fucking cool. Like, I did my part, man. Like, granted, you want to establish a little bit more of an audience,
of course,
but baby steps. But like I said, if this hits at least one person, fucking, I did my part,
bro. And I agree, and I want to take some time just to to give you your flowers, bro. Because
I don't need any fucking flowers, dude.
Too bad. I'm giving them to you anyways.
I'm just gonna smoke them.
Facts, but yeah, man. All the work that you put in, it definitely pays off. And I think on my end for sure, like without even us having the relationship we have now, months ago, just seeing how much work you've put in inspired me to go ahead and kick myself in the ass more than I already do.
I'm glad, bro.
And to your point about this podcast, I 100% agree. I coached sports a little bit growing up, and when I graduated high school, not to the level that you did, but I had the same mentality, because the thing is, you don't know who people are going to become. And you may be that person, because I've had people in my life that planted seeds. You may be that person that plants a seed that individual waters, and it creates a fucking monster out of them, where they could be maybe the next president of the United States, or they're the next athlete, or they're whatever the fuck, the doctor that saves, fucking finds a cure for some shit.
For sure, man.
Whatever. But you just giving that knowledge, living your truth, being that example is going to inspire.
Who would have thought in today's day, just being yourself would be have that much of an impact, bro?
Dude,
because how many people our boy Andrew Tate got fucking canceled.
Bro, I just posted.
That's actually something I wanted to talk to you
about.
Yeah,
let's talk about it real quick.
Top G, man. Poor Top G. They got him.
So,
for
clarification,
they got him.
I'm not a fan, nor am I a hater of Andrew Tate. I love the fact that
he's himself,
he's himself, troll. Right? And that he's entertaining. Sure, there's things that I definitely don't agree with. Right. There's also things I do agree with.
How is Kim Kardashian still around causing all the fucking body dysmorphia that she's caused, and she's still not fucking canceled? So
I posted, because I follow a couple different people on Instagram, and Patrick Bet David is a guy that I love.
Can we have a 10-second moment of silence for Andrew Tate?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. We sit here today, honor our boy Andrew Tate, speaking his mind, calling out these goofies, telling them the shit they don't want to hear.
For living his truth.
For living his truth, telling guys to do push-ups. Amen. That wasn't this moment of silence.
Hey, we give him a prayer and everything. We give him a proper goodbye.
Proper goodbye, man. It was nice knowing you, bud. But it sucks, dude. You know what, man? I'm sorry to cut you off, but I posted a fucking. I never posted him. I never posted the guy. I posted one video of him and like, dude, how many goofies were in my fucking DMs? Oh, why are you posting this guy? Dude, settle the fuck down, mija. Chill the fuck out. Like, if I see you post another fucking goofy astrology quote again, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit. Like,
facts.
You know what, man? Like I said a second ago, how the fuck we're upset at a guy like Andrew Tate, but a guy like fucking like Kim Kardashian, who has caused like so much body dysmorphia and mental illness in young chicks for trying to attain a body that they're never gonna get unless they're a fucking billionaire or have had the fucking surgery she's had. How is she still around? She has the fucking infinity gauntlet of fucking husbands on her show. Like,
facts.
But we're canceling this. I mean, granted, Andrew Tate's a little extreme and he says some dumb shit.
And he has done some things in the past that legally, he shouldn't have did.
Right.
But nevertheless, like, we're America, right? We're the opportunity, fucking place of the world. We're all about First Amendment rights, freedom of speech.
Right.
Expression. Bro, I posted this, Patrick Bet David. It says, Tate is a threat to young men, question mark. Was Hugh Hefner a threat to young men? Is Cardi B a threat to young women? Is Lil Nas X a threat to young boys? And it's like, bro, why?
Because look, dude, the guy like Andrew Tate, he appeals to the male demographic. The male demographic don't give a fuck. Like us dudes, we'll shrug shit off like, fuck it, whatever, dude. It's the biggest pussies and the loudest bitches that like make the most noise, and they're gonna voice their opinion. Dude, I have like so many fucking like I don't even want to like goofies, chicks with too much time on their hands. Like you could tell they have no fucking hobbies.
That's a downside about the internet,
right? But the thing is, like, dude, like I'll see shit on that like I don't agree with, but I'm never like gonna voice my opinion. Like, oh, hey, you shouldn't fucking, you shouldn't say that, or you should. It's like, dude, fucking whatever. But it's these fucking people that insist on making their voice heard. It's like they're not doing anything productive. They're not doing anything fucking creative. They're not expressing themselves in a manner that is fucking healthy. So their means of being heard and means of like getting the point across, it's like they fucking chirp on the internet and they fucking make it seem like it's a bigger deal than it really is. It's like, if it's not that important, don't follow it.
Facts.
You're insisting on putting your energy and your time into this fucking entity that like you wouldn't have to deal with if you just fucking, you don't like it, don't look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I see goofy astrology shit all the time that I disagree with. You're a bitch because you're a Taurus? No, you're just a bitch because you're a bitch and you haven't learned. You don't read books. You don't fucking get sun.
Facts.
You don't look, you're consuming nothing but fucking Celsius and fucking McDonald's all fucking day. Like, you're just in a shitty mood because of your habits, not because of, wow, dude, that's the thing that gets me, bro.
Bro, you spend $7 on a caffeinated water and sugar. And you're mad.
And Andrew Tate, God forbid, bro.
Fuck Starbucks, bro.
Starbucks. Push a fucking sled, mija. Push a fucking sled. You know what I mean? Get some sun. Let your feet touch the grass. Eat a steak, and you'll feel better. And he won't fucking like have as much of an impact on your life than he is apparently.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's fucking extreme.
For sure.
But you know who else is fucking extreme? Fucking, Tosh.0. Like,
anybody.
You know who else is fucking extreme? The Joker. You know who else is fucking, you know what I mean? He's just a character in a movie. And I think, like, what we fail to realize is, like, people get caught up in, like, social media, like, thinking that this is actually who the person is. Like, no, they're just putting out what they want you to see.
Of course.
And this guy is putting out polarizing content that is gonna grab people's attention and make him money. Hey, dude, you think he cares if he's canceled?
Doesn't care. It's gonna make him more money.
It's gonna make him more money
because people are talking about him.
Exactly.
We're fucking talking about him.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, like I said, dude, like just like anyone else, he says things that I agree with. He says other things that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
But am I gonna go out of my way to fucking sign a waiver or petition that he's canceled? Dude, I was looking at some fucking like someone who probably drank a big fucking glass of oat milk and soy, you know, in the first thing of the fucking morning, hadn't had any sun all day. They reposted this fucking like feminist page where it's like, oh, be careful who you give a spotlight to. And they highlighted Andrew Tate. I'm like, dude, shut the it's usually the people who I would not put in charge of my safety that are making these fucking posts. I'm like, dude, first of all, I wouldn't even take advice from you to begin with. You know, you're in my life and you know, you're cool, I guess. But like would I like put you in charge of my health or safety? Fuck no.
And you know, the crazy part is like, she's not wrong. Be careful who you put in the spotlight.
Right.
But if they're there, they're there. That's not on you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Just ignore it.
And so I have two thoughts.
Okay.
The first thought is like, so I posted that thing that I just read, right? And I said, should Andrew Tate be canceled? Right now, I have about 40-something% people saying yes. The other 50-something% are saying no.
Yeah.
So it's leaning more towards no. But
how many of that 40% are chicks? Probably all of them.
I'll tell you after the podcast. We'll look at all
some
the
gay dudes.
But the point that I'm trying to make is like, somebody DM me. One of my really close friends DM me. Wow, Andrew Tate, he beats women, and you know, I don't know. He said something else, and I said, okay, that's valid. Like, I'm not saying I commend that. I'm not even saying I'm a big fan of Andrew Tate.
How many of these chicks repost Chris Brown fucking right?
And then so I told him. I said, I responded back, and he didn't say nothing. I said, well, how many of these rappers killed people and sold drugs and did a lot of dirty shit? But yet we praise them like, you know, we don't say nothing. And to your point, Chris Brown is one of those. Dude, why are we still listening to music of Chris Brown? Now, I'm not saying I don't want to cancel him. I don't want to cancel anybody.
I don't give a fuck, right?
But the point that I'm trying to make is like, we can't cancel somebody because somebody got fucking booty tickled and not cancel somebody else.
I'm sure Bad Bunny treats chicks like queens. All of them.
Bro. He got caught not too long ago making out with some chick, and he has a chick.
That's what I'm saying.
And he didn't get canceled?
Dude.
Like, come on.
Not even canceled, but it's like all these chicks are like, oh, where are all the real men at? You know, they love Bad Bunny, but it's like, dude, he'd probably cheat on your fat ass too.
Oh, he just did.
he just did. He's a dude.
And his bitch was bad
I like
too.
him more. I actually like him more because I'm actually a fan now.
Oh, man.
It's one of those things, dude, where it's like, I think our way of thinking and like our approach, it's so ass backwards. It's because I'm gonna stay quiet. I'm gonna get canceled too.
Well, the last point I wanted to make is with the internet, it's a double-edged sword, man. Because going back to what we were saying in the beginning, we learned we're fucking doctors of YouTube University, bro. Like, but at the same time, people that shouldn't have as much of a voice have a voice because of the internet, and it becomes their identity, bro.
It really does.
Like literally, you know, and I'm a human, so sometimes, you know, I make the mistake of my presence on social media or my, you know, perspective of or what other people perceive me to be as, that becomes my identity. That becomes my purpose. But you can't. It's not.
Oh, no.
You are your purpose.
For
you
sure.
are your identity, and you can't allow, you know, the internet or
to influence
anything you to be your purpose. And it's unfortunate. And I really kind of want to like show people through my example that your purpose could be whatever the fuck you want. Going back to being a superhero.
Oh, yes, could be whatever you want.
You know?
Honestly, bro, as much as like I'm on my phone and like and just bullshitting the way I am on the internet, dude, on social media, bro. If tomorrow Wi-Fi wasn't a thing, I wouldn't give a fuck. It'd be like a weight off my shoulder. Like, thank God, cool. I could just do like, honestly, bro. Like, it's so easy for me to go to the mountains, not have service, and I'm fucking cool, dude. I just fuck with my guitar. I fuck with my bow. I'll make a campfire. You know what I mean, dude? And it's like one of those things where, as much as I am on my phone, if it just wasn't, cool, I'll be fine. Like, dude, how many people freak out when it's like there's just no Wi-Fi? Like, oh fuck! What's the Wi-Fi code? What, Wi-Fi's down? They make a stink about it. It's like, motherfucker, like,
bro,
just go,
anytime
go touch some grass.
Facts. Anytime like Instagram or any of these social media sites are down, everybody's on a different social media site talking shit about that site being down.
You know what? I'm very fortunate that Instagram is probably the only one that I'm really on. I have a TikTok, but I mean, I've gone on there three or four times, if that.
I go on there every day. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, hey, that's sometimes that's their thing. I've never had a Twitter. I don't have a Facebook anymore. Is Snapchat still a thing?
I guess I've only heard Snapchat being used for like sneaky
Nudes?
links.
Yeah,
and shit
exactly.
Like that.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm saying that, like, but I'm just very fortunate that, like, Instagram's kind of dying too. Like, you brought it to my attention recently. It's like it's like, it's hit its peak already. And now it's
sure.
it's onto the next thing, which is TikTok probably.
Yeah. No, for sure.
It's gonna be. YouTube is starting to kind of dwell in that realm of like social interaction, social media type with their they've always put up videos, but and they've always had like comment sections, but now that they have the Instagram short the YouTube shorts, like they're starting to kind of fuck with that realm a little bit.
Yeah.
It's interesting, like where like the waves take the masses and where the spotlight points towards. It's interesting, man.
But everybody just copies each other. That's the
same format.
Yeah, like what it comes down to. I mean, and it's not a bad thing because that's what innovation is, right? Like we find something and we want to improve upon it.
What's going to be the next thing?
Right?
What's going to be the next? Like, if you had to take a wild guess.
If I had to take a wild guess.
What's going to be the next, like?
Well, my prediction was the metaverse.
Right.
So, and what I mean by that is, so I honestly feel, have you ever seen the movie, maybe you haven't, maybe you have, it's called Ready Player One?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
One day when you're, have an hour or so to fucking bullshit, just pull it up. And basically it takes place in the future and like everybody wears like a fucking headset and like a bodysuit and they basically live most of their lives in a fucking video game essentially.
Right.
So I feel in the future, it's not necessarily going to be like that maybe anytime soon, but I feel like content is going to be consumed like that. Because think about it like this. We're going to an event, right? We're going to an MMA fight.
Right.
But check this out. Let's say we live in LA. Commerce is, the next city over or a couple cities over. We can get there in 15 minutes. Well, let's say we were in fucking, I don't know, Australia. And we can't make that 12-hour flight to the States, let alone another 10 or whatever the fuck to Cali, right? Well, instead of paying all that money and reserving all that time,
throw your goggles on.
I throw my goggles on. There's going to be cameras, like 360 cameras in certain areas of the event. And I could just pay a ticket to wear
and be there.
But
like, let's say, for example, like you have a timeline on, like, let's say I'm on Instagram right now. Like you have a timeline, or for you, whatever. Like, what's going to be the way people like project where they're at or what they're doing? And you're able to see that in that type of space. Well,
going back to like VR and all that stuff, what Apple and all of these tech companies are trying to create, they're trying to create augmented reality technology and equipment. So like, for example, there's Google Glass and there's Apple's coming out with glasses as well, where you have these glasses and basically right here, it's kind of like Vegeta and shit, where you can see certain things. So people are talking about integrating augmented reality and virtual reality with the real world. So like you'll be able to see things move that are not really moving, but they look like they're moving.
How soon before it's a fucking part of us? Like it's
that's
a chip.
The scary part.
It's gonna be at some point. It's gonna be at some point. Well, I mean, look at, like, I was telling some chick the other day, like our phone is basically an extension of us.
100%.
We're part cyborg. Like, and like, and you can make the argument for some like numbnuts, like their phone probably knows them better than they know themselves. The phone knows what's gonna catch their attention and knows what they're gonna buy.
Dude, they got your DNA on it. Why? Because your Face ID, your fucking fingerprint ID, bro. That's crazy.
Yep, they've scanned everything. Yeah, your facial structure. They've scanned your fingerprints.
For all you know, there's a fucking clone in the Apple database. If you got a fucking Apple,
and it probably knows you better than you know yourself because you're so, as opposed to fucking doing shit that requires hands-on work and hobbies. Like you're so wrapped up in this fucking screen.
The Google algorithms and shit like that.
It knows people better than they know themselves, bro. That's the thing, man. It knows, like, it shows you a restaurant that you're going to like. It shows you a place in the world that you're going to want to travel to. It shows you content that's going to grab your attention.
Bro, and how many times have you been talking about something and then you go on your phone and you get an ad for that specific thing?
Yeah, right? we all know it's a thing. It's a voice. There's a voice recognition and it picks up on keywords, and it's like, okay, these social media fucking websites and these corporations, they pay companies like Apple, hey, dude, look out, like you guys all have Alexa or Siri, like that voice recognition system. Here's something. Our product's gonna link with that word. It's gonna show them something they're gonna want to buy. Yeah, it happens all. I mean, at first it was kind of like 5-6 years ago, it was kind of creepy.
Fuck yeah.
Now we're just like, yeah,
it's just what it is.
It's the thing. Yeah. Big titty juicy bitches.
Hopefully I get an ad for that.
Hopefully I get something like that along those lines. I totally don't want that. You know,
tonight you'll probably see a lot of that. So
they're just called ring girls.
Hey man,
they're just called ring girls, dude.
It's facts.
It's gonna be nice, man. You know what, dude? Like I said, I can't wait for my fucking cigars. I'm actually craving a cigar already, man.
Yeah,
bad as it sounds.
I mean, when we're done, we can fucking
finish off the rest of the one we had earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go, dude. All right, man. Well, I think
before we take off, I know we're gonna come to a close. I just want to stress, like technology is scary. Obviously, we were talking about that. But the reality is like if you want to be successful in today's age, today's time, you have to utilize it. It's just a tool,
right?
We're being funny. We're saying we're a cyborg because this is an extension of us. To a degree, we're not. Like it's the truth. At the same time, it's a tool. So it's like utilize it instead of just letting it not.
How scary were cars when they were first invented? How scary was the airplane? How scary was a fucking train? All these like places in time of intervention were scary at some point, but at some point, look at us now. We that's our means of life, our means of transportation, our means of like health and food. But you just adapt, and I think it's on us to be conscious adults and critical think and know how much is going to be good for us and when to back off.
100%. I agree.
And that comes down to personal responsibility. But we're in a time and age where people don't want to take personal responsibility. And then you get little fucking soy boys who call out guys like Andrew Tate because, he's on my feed. You know what I mean?
You're going to miss him, huh?
I'm going to miss him, bro. Dude, he was funny.
You keep bringing him up.
He was funny. Well, today's the day, dude. Like,
R.I.P.
Today's the day that we bury him. But it just upsets me, bro, because like I said, I'm not a big fan of him whatsoever, but like, just where's the fucking world going, bro?
Exactly.
It's like we have other like I can name 10 other like situations that contradict it. Like, dude, fucking WAP. Like we're promoting a song about wet ass pussy, but this guy can't talk about the shit that he's fucking. He can't talk about his like,
bro. And that shit's on Kiss FM or Power 106 or the radio or whatever. And like you got little kids that are fucking dancing.
Dude,
and
I walk around
shit.
the fucking high school and how uncomfortable it is seeing fucking kids playing that shit, bro. Like, dude, and that's my thing though, bro. Like shit like that, shit like the Kardashians taking pictures of their bare fucking ass, like, and like, dude, fucking. On top of that. Like guys like fucking Bad Bunny, like their whole persona is like based off like off of a sexual presence and like sex sells.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, dude. It's a little fishy, bro. It's like we're condemning shit like red meat. All of a sudden, red meat's fucking bad for you. Well, red meat's always been bad for us. You know what I mean? But granted, you'll eat a fucking double cheeseburger from fucking Ari's or Doubles or McDonald's, and that's totally fine. With a large order of fries and a large drink, but fucking red meat's the enemy. You know what I mean? We're getting this shit like, dude, and I don't like.
Bro, I think the world, specifically, obviously America, is getting so bored that we're just trying to find
a reason to be upset.
Yeah,
a reason to be upset, dude. And it sucks though, man, because like all I got out of this guy fucking Tate was he's just talking about dudes being dudes.
Yeah,
and that's frowned upon now. You like, granted, like you and I were dudes, and like we talk about shit that. In private that we probably wouldn't talk about in public. You know what I mean? And whether it be being silly or whether some of it being, hey, dude, this is really how I feel. You just can't say it.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where it's like, fuck, dude, I'm tired of that, bro. And that's why, like, I'm as, like some people care deeply about me. Others don't. Others fucking hate my guts because I speak my mind, bro. Like, dude, I said something the other day to some chick where it's like, I hold my time to the same standard you hold your pussy. Like, my time is valuable to me.
100%.
What do chicks want when they hang out with us? They want to hang out with us. They want to like, oh, hey, come hang out, watch a movie, and just be here with me.
They want to feel like a queen, basically.
Feel like a queen. Yeah. But what is, like, you and I are fucking busy, bro. Like, you have a full-time job. You're working on you're doing the editing. You're doing shit like fucking going to the events and capturing pictures, capturing shots, dude. Mm-hmm. Dude, I have fucking 16-hour days. I don't have the capacity to fucking waste my time and sit around. So it's like, hey, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit. Like, I kind of want to hit.
Yeah.
Is that so wrong? Yeah. It's like, that's just being a dude. But you can't say that. And it's like one of those things where like I said it out loud. I'm holding my time to the same standard you hold your fucking nalgas.
Yeah.
And it's like, you want my time? Granted, that's fucking expensive. I can go deeper with this, but I'm just not going to. But that's just the like, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. And like, it's sad, but at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. And it's like, life and social media is just a game, bro.
It's a game,
it's
bro.
It's a fucking game, bro. And you just got to play that shit. And you just got to, find your niche, do your thing, and just focus on that.
And focus on that. And not be distracted, because there's anything and everything that's going to be thrown at you to fucking distract you.
It's tough, bro. It's tough, but you got to be focused.
There's got to be tunnel vision.
Laser focus. And
that comes with taking care of yourself, bro. You're not going to have that laser focus or the energy to sustain that type of workload if you're just bullshitting all fucking day.
Exactly. You can pretend, and you can make it out on social media, make it look like you working, but motherfuckers will know when you're working or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah, we see it all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm one of those guys. I'm just kidding. Nah, dude. Hey, Isaac, before we close this off, man, I really appreciate you being on, dude. Where could we find you at, bud?
Pretty much on all social media sites is Isaac Lawrence. My parents, I don't know why they named me Isaac with 2 S's, but it's ISSAC. Mm-hmm. Lawrence, LAWRENCE. On anywhere, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, pretty much just type my name in and I'll pop up. I just want to say, I appreciate you having me on.
Of course, man. Thank you for coming.
Oh, of course. Any athletes of any sport, doesn't matter, that wants content and that it's in the SoCal area, please hit me up. And I really want to get these fighters specifically, but any athlete, there's stories out there, because these motherfuckers are amazing, bro.
Mm-hmm. And they don't get the credit that they think they should.
They put in so much work for the shit that they do. So I have the utmost respect for these guys.
Sounds good, brother. Women. Hey, dude. Again, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming on, guys. If you guys did stick around and watch this, I really appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.